children's safety and security, our priority. Keep that in mind as you go about your business today and all throughout May. It's Child Month, and to every adult watching Jamaica Magazine right now, we say, by all means, discipline your children, but don't abuse them. Care for our boys and girls, don't molest them. When you see someone abusing a child, speak out and stop murdering Jamaica's sons and daughters. And to every child watching Jamaica Magazine right now, we say, obey your parents, respect your teachers, and every adult looking out for your best interest. Tell on those who are abusing you, and never let anyone tell you that you are less than, unworthy, or worthless. You are all beautiful, unique, and absolutely necessary to Jamaica's future. I'm Theodore, thanks for making it the JIS, and please, keep watching.
I am a great big bundle of potentiality.
I say be careful what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them.
Parents, keep your children safe and protected. Stay alert and be aware of where your children are at all times. Submit the latest photo of your child to his or her school. Know what's happening with your child. Listen to them when they say they don't feel comfortable going to a certain place or being around certain persons. Act quickly when your child tells you he or she has been touched inappropriately or approached with unwanted requests. Be the change. Help us protect our children. For more information, call 1-888-776-8328 or 1-876-878-2882.
Good day, I'm Carrie Ann Smith, and this is your JIS News for Friday, May 1. A new administration policy for persons deprived of their liberty has been tabled in Parliament. National Security Minister Peter Bunting tabled the document during a sectoral presentation on Wednesday. It reflects the recommendation from one of the 3 working groups set up under the Cabinet subcommittee that was established in 2014 to review the detention system.
Once implemented, this policy will move us into the 21st century in terms of the treatment of persons deprived of their liberty.
The new policy affects the operations of both the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Department of Correctional Services. It includes a suicide prevention protocol, provisions targeting mental health and physical injury or concerns, provisions for dealing with persons with disabilities, procedures for children in conflict with the law, a training component, and sanctions for breaches of the policy. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, MOCA, will soon become a statutory body, independent of the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
MOCA currently operates as a joint staff agency with members from the JCF and JDF, as well as civilians. Cabinet has issued drafting instructions for legislation to establish MOCA as a statutory body, independent of the JCF and JDF.
He told the Parliament that between January 2014 and March 2015, MOCA conducted 347 operations. This resulted in 411 persons being charged, including 46 members of the JCF, 26 public sector employees, 313 scammers, and 26 civilians charged for various offenses. Government will be spending nearly $13 billion to increase the production of affordable housing solutions for low and middle income earners starting this fiscal year. While making a sectoral presentation in Parliament on Tuesday, Housing Minister Dr. Maurice Guy said the program would include the delivery of service lots and the completed units. He said the housing program would also create jobs and stimulate economic growth.
We have identified lands across the island which, when developed, can produce some 5,960 lots, of which 3,010 are earmarked to be designed and developed in the first phase of the program.
He said the development had already been approved by Cabinet and infrastructure work should be completed by June 2017. The housing program is being jointly implemented by the Portfolio Ministry, Housing Agency of Jamaica, Food for the Poor, and the National Housing Trust. The NHT will provide a little more than $3.8 billion over a 3-year period. Another $9.02 billion will be sought from other sources, including the Petrocarib Fund. 250 new hotel rooms will be added to Jamaica's tourism stock when the former Braco Village resort in Trelawney is rebranded as the Malaya Braco Village and reopened in December. Speaking at the resort's recent groundbreaking ceremony, Tourism Minister Dr. Wickham McNeil said Malaya's investment was part of $54 billion worth of investment pumped into Jamaica's tourism sector over the past 3 years.
The investment continues to come. An investment that we have on the books now will see the addition of another 1,600 new rooms to Jamaica over the next 18 months, and a number of those rooms are right here in Trelawney.
The new rooms at Malaya Braco Village will bring total accommodation there to 475. 400 permanent jobs will be created at the resort when it's completed. To manage the property, Malaya signed a 15-year lease agreement with the government through the National Insurance Fund, which owns the Braco Village Resort. As the Jamaica Constabulary Force ramps up its road safety campaign, it is reporting that since the start of the year, 3,147 motorcyclists have been prosecuted for not wearing safety helmets.
Of that number, 1,737, or just about 55% of those prosecutions were within the parishes of St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover and St. James.
Deputy Commissioner Clifford Blake was speaking yesterday at the launch of the 3rd UN Global Road Safety Week. He pledged support for the road safety campaign and said the police will be taking a more strategic approach to ensuring the nation's roads are safe.
We will continue our enforcement strategies. These are enforcing the speed limit along the nation's roadway through the use of speed radars, reducing death by drunk drive through increased use of breath intoxicizers, adopting a zero-tolerance approach for improper use and incorrect use of helmet, adopting a zero-tolerance for non-compliance with seatbelt regulations and other traffic-related offenses.
And finally, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller is appealing to residents to not remove road signs from their communities, as this may hinder children's proper use of the roads.
Citizens must understand that it is their civic duty not to remove or to destroy road signs. Members of the community have a role to play by using the roads properly and assisting children to use the roads safely.
9 children were among the 124 persons who've lost their lives in road crashes since the start of the year. The theme for the 3rd UN Global Road Safety Week is Save Kids' Lives. It runs from May 4 to 10. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Carrie-Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
Life is all about making decisions, choosing from a number of options to do a particular thing, which may result in a specific outcome.
It can be difficult, but there are 4 things you can do to help make that decision.
Stop. Check out what's happening and remind yourself to think before acting.
Think. Make sure you're aware of the choices, all the advantages and disadvantages. Then think about the consequences. Act.
Choose the best option and do something about it.
Review.
Finally, review what you have done and determine if it was good or bad. That way, you'll be in a better position to make the next decision, whether big or simple.
Since the start of the year, 26 children have been murdered. That is a trend we cannot afford to continue. During his sectoral presentation in Parliament this week, the Minister of National Security addressed this troubling issue and outlined just a few of the actions being taken to make Jamaica safe for our children.
Time for peace and love and fun. Time for crime and violence done, yeah. Come together, we make it right. We can do it if we all unite.
There is no room for complacency. We're all saddened and angered at the continued victimization of our children. In many cases, Mr. Speaker, at the hands of persons close to them and from whom they should expect protection. The solution to this issue rests not just with law enforcement, but requires a whole society approach to address the complex issues of moral decay that have allowed these heinous acts to occur. A principal contributor to this has to be ineffective parenting, and it's something we need to address. Addressing this has been a central element of Unite for Change's public education campaign. In 2013, I introduced the Unite for Change initiative. Today, I can report that Unite for Change has been a force for good, partnering with our community organizations, churches, schools, and various civil society groups. The collaboration among the ministry and its partner ministries and agencies is taking the message of lawfulness across the country. I want to speak specifically to our parenting campaign. Research shows that good parenting is important in reducing the risk for juvenile delinquency and criminal behavior. To be more specific, research done in the United States, United Kingdom, and in the Caribbean indicate that fatherless children are 11 times more likely to display violent behavior, 9 times more likely to run away from home, becoming victims or perpetrators of crime, twice as likely to drop out of school, 6 times more likely to have behavioral disorders, 9 times more likely to become gang members, 6 times more likely to end up in prison, and more than twice as likely to experience teen pregnancies, among other things. This is precisely why the National Security Ministry in February of this year rolled out a national parenting campaign under the Unite for Change initiative. The strength of the campaign is reflected in the number of partnerships it has generated with both public and private sector organizations. These partnerships have been designed to encourage more active and effective parenting and have been delivering the campaign message of better parenting, better Jamaica. And since February this year, we have been running a media campaign including billboards, radio and TV ads geared at promoting better parenting. This year, we're encouraging all of Jamaica to come together and ensure that as many of our children as possible have some structured activity in the summer.
The National Security Ministry is also using smart technology to help children and other Jamaicans keep safe. Technology like Unite for Change's Stay Alert smartphone app.
This app, among other things, allows the users to anonymously upload text, photographs, or videos of criminal or suspected criminal activity to the National Intelligence Bureau. It also has a panic button feature that sends a distress signal to police control. We think this app provides a mechanism for residents to participate in the co-production of their community safety. And it can be especially helpful to hearing impaired citizens.
The Stay Alert smartphone app is now fully deployed, and a couple thousand early adopters have already downloaded and are using the software. Join them. Download the app at the Unite for Change website or from the Google Play Store. Let's all unite to change Jamaica's culture of crime. This Child Month, let's unite to provide a brighter future for tomorrow's leaders. The magazine continues after the short break.
Time for peace and love and fun. Time for crime and violence done, yeah. Come together, we make it right. We can do it if we all unite.
The possession of small quantities of ganja is still against the law, but as of April 15, 2015, it is decriminalized.
Possession of 2 ounces or 0.057 kilograms or less will become a non-arrestable, ticketable infraction.
That means you can't be held by the police or end up with a criminal record, but you will be given a $500 ticket. The police may also recommend counseling for minors or adults they believe to be hooked on the drug. The ticket must be paid at any tax office within 30 days. If you miss the deadline, the Petty Session Court can order community service or a fine of $2,000. But be clear, possession of more than 2 ounces of ganja is still a criminal offense that comes with a fine or a prison sentence. There are exceptions, however. The rules against possession of ganja do not apply to Rastafarians who use it as a religious sacrament and persons with a prescription for medical or therapeutic purposes. Ganja can also be used in scientific research. Be in the know. Get the facts on the Dangerous Drugs Amendment Act. Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
So we now go to jail again. Oh no, and we never gonna feel again.
So you heard the National Security Minister point out earlier that effective parenting is one of the most important tools to ensure children don't get involved in criminal activities. Well, one of those criminal activities may just be lottery scamming. And the ministry has a program dedicated to ensuring it doesn't enter our schools or stamp out its presence if it does happen. So parents, you might want to keep watching for our next feature. Youngsters, you too.
We know why, no let us come in ya. We know why, no let us come in ya.
Wise up, you, myself, wise up, you. A scammer, you want me to turn? Me not take that to the world. Me not go use no digi, nor no line to commit no fraudulent crime. Wise up, you, myself, wise up, you.
It's better to learn the maths so you can get a good grade on your GSAT.
It's better to learn the communication tasks so it won't cause an alarm when someone you have to ask to fill out a simple form.
So guess what? Everybody read this to me now. Lottery scamming. Stop it before it stops you. Don't start.
This is really an intervention or an approach, a proactive approach that we're using to curb lottery scamming through social development. Because if we can get children to understand that lottery scamming is wrong and that it is a crime, right, then we will be starting a change.
Wise up, you, Mr. Wise up, you.
My youth, my girl, don't be a phone confederate. That's not what it means to be literate. Use their knowledge, use their mind for the betterment of mankind.
All of this is coming from my heart. So use education to play your part.
Get a good education. Stop lottery scamming before it stops you.
I want to ask you something this morning. Tell me, who wants to be scammed? Anybody here want to be scammed? No. That means you know what scamming is? Oh, you all know what scamming is? All right. Scamming is what? Tell me. It is stealing. You believe that? Of course, because it's not yours, and you call somebody, you know what they do when they scam? You call and you tell somebody that they win something. You know about that? When they didn't win anything, and you trick them and then you get them to send their money. It's not yours, so it is. It is stealing, and it is a trick, and it is pretending.
We know one, let us come in ya. Learn up about an ability thing. Learn how to spell and their reading. Pay attention when teacher teaching. Run go to school before the bell ring. We know one, let us come in ya.
We are going to be targeting also the high schools and the community colleges. And we are also going to be targeting the parent-teachers associations, the parent-teachers meeting, because we have to spread the message. Lottery scamming is wrong. It's a crime.
How can we prevent scamming?
By not tricking people.
Oh, give it up for him. Give it up. Come on, give it up for him. Such a brilliant young man. We have one more question. I'm going to ask you to give a statement. If you should say something to the scammers in Montego Bay, what would you say?
They should not scam because it will make them go to jail.
I think it is the way forward, not only for our school community, but also for the nation.
I believe that the MOCA team is doing a good job, and I would just like to encourage them to continue to go into more schools, as lottery scamming must be stopped. and it begins with the younger generation.
We know one, let us come in here. If you want to be something that you see and who do him running, put on the phone, don't alpering. When the law catch you, ting-a-ling-a-ling. Use up your hand and do the right thing. When result come, we know one, let us come in here. We know one, let us come in here. We know one, let us come in here.
You're watching Jamaica Magazine. Happy Child Month.
What about the children? To ignore is so easy.
We have to pay attention to our children and youth to save them from crime, violence, and abuse that is rampant in our society. And I want to remind all of us here and Jamaica, our children are our future.
And if not for those who loved us and who cared enough to show us, where would we be today?
Be an active participant in your child's life. Spend time with your child. No phones, no television, no distractions. Just the two of you.
Just the two of us.
Get to know your child through play. Why not go to the park and get on the monkey bars? Sharing a meal can also be a time of bonding. If your child's in school, be involved in school activities. Speak with your child's teacher. Follow up on their progress in school and see how you can help. Assist them with homework. Attend parent-teacher meetings and support school fundraising events. Remember, your child's future is in your hands. Safeguard it.
So glad you are a child of mine.
We've used up most of our half-hour allotment for today's magazine, and we want to end things on a lighter tone. It is Friday after all. So let's go back in time, back to 3 months ago. Yep, I'm talking about February and a JIS trip out of town to visit with one of our schools that's on a mission to keep the Jamaican culture alive. Our trip to the past may not go very far back, but as you'll see next, at Sankofa they're way more adventurous. It's time to get into the school zone.
A medley of folk songs, Jamaican treats for the sweet tooth, and household items of yesteryear. This week, School Zone is out in St. Thomas, taking in Jamaica's rich culture at Sankofa Preparatory and Learning Center. Sankofa Prep, as it's more commonly known, is a small institution located in the Eastern Parish. Its name, Sankofa, is Akan and stands for learning from the past in order to move forward. With such a profound name, the school makes it a priority to enrich the cultural landscape in St. Thomas with its yearly February production.
Broke them one by one, broke them two by two, finger mash no cry.
Old Time Sinting is a cultural event. Every day before Ash Wednesday, we take artifacts and educate the students about them, like your old self-eating iron, your old time things from enamel and stuff like that. And then we have traditional foods all day, traditional songs, dance. We immerse the children in their culture that day in a very practical way. It's very important. A lot of these things children have no idea about. Their parents are young, they don't have the memory.
From day to night, the students, their parents and community members were taken back in time through a cultural explosion of Jamaican life in the good old days.
My name is Brianna Rowe and I'm going to be your tour guide. Today we're displaying some things that we used to use in the old time days. This is an enamel teapot.
a far difference from the modern version.
This is an ice shaver.
Some companies still use this particular ice shaver, but it's been replaced in the home with ice picks and even an ice maker.
This is a floor brush. It's used to polish your floor or shine your floor.
Even the floor polish is outdated as ceramic tiles are erasing its use.
This is an ice tray. You set your ice in it.
So different from this, isn't it? Not to mention these enamel chamber pots and chimney, cooking outdoor on wood fire, and these designs, may we call them, of yesteryear, the days of Jamaica gone by. The entertainment package was also synonymous with the theme. Kumina and ring games reigned.
Whole heap of memories. I mean, I'm waiting for my chocolate tea right now. Our children need to know where they're coming from, where they're at now, where they're going. It's imperative because we're losing our children.
I think the event is very, in my mind, it stands out. It's very exceptional what Sankofa Preparatory is doing for the students and the community at large. It brings us back to our roots and our culture, which most of us have neglected.
I grew up using those things. Yes, my mother, grandmother, and everybody grew up using those things. So it was really memorable.
It seems the mission of old-time sinting was fulfilled as the children learned of their past in a fun way.
The dancing and the song singing and the listening to music, the long time music. The singing and dancing.
Oh, pirate, yes, they are by. So like to the merchant ship. Minutes after they took high from the bottomless pit.
Come on, Sankofa. Come on, Sankofa. Come on, Sankofa. Come on, Sankofa.
Old time something come back again. Go round the bend, say go tell your friends.
Family,
School,
church,
community.
all important agents of change in our society.
They influence what we think about ourselves, our surroundings, and how we see the roles of males and females.
Let's all work together for equality for all Jamaicans.
Let's make Jamaica a place where both males and females have equal access to a good education, good jobs, the best healthcare, and opportunities for the good of the country.
Males and females are different, but it doesn't mean they're not equal.
Let's build a Jamaica that doesn't discriminate. Become an agent of change.
That's it for the show. If you missed anything or just want to see it all again, go to our website, jis.gov.jm. Our features are also on YouTube. We're all about getting feedback on our productions, so don't be shy about using our email to comment. It's Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. We're also friendly with Twitter and Facebook, so link up with us on those social media platforms. And don't forget to download our mobile app from the Google Play Store. If you forgot, I'm Theodore Henry, and you've been watching Jamaica Magazine. See you next time.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.